This ain't no game, this that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55 was goody. Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. On the show, spread fake news. We just call it podcast. West Joey, Sam, Sean, Dalton. And you know that boy Higgy. He said he wants small fries. Tell him they better make him big. Yeah, you already know what we be on.
You bet. Jordan, here he goes. This place is gone.
If we set it and set it in stone, sit in the seat, set up your phone. You in the Cardinal sports zone.
Straight steal home. The slide. The Cards win.
The magic is working tonight. How do you know when things are
The emotional journey to the championship.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. A very special one we didn't really promote too much because we really didn't know when we were starting until the second my co-host walked in the door. My name's Jeremy Wyman, and we're coming to you live from the Rally House studio. His name's Perrin Johnson.
What's up, man?
Now, you know what I wanted to be like, Diddy, what's up? But I listen, last time ever.
Yeah, I told you not to call
I'm calling him that. Well, I had to exercise the demons.
Okay.
There's no white party here. There's no baby oil. There's no none of that.
Do we really have to go through all the
Well,
boxes?
I feel like I needed to. So this is that was the last time in history because that was always the nickname. That's all. What's up, D? PD? So we ain't doing that no more. But what's going on, Perrin? How you been, man?
Man, just working, coaching, working, staying out the way. Getting old one day at a time, man. You know how it goes. Rinse and repeat.
What do you mean? I know how it goes. I'm still like 30 something.
Yes, so I'm 25 then. If that's
There you go. There you go. I don't age. I don't feel like it anyway. We appreciate y'all joining in with us on a Wednesday night. Don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or however. Send us your questions on social. Check on the graphic to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on social media and how you can help support us monetarily. Use YouTube subscriptions, gifts in the chat, whatever you can do. It would be straight with us. We appreciate it. Allows us to do stuff like travel to Charlotte and sit front row and do a great job covering the Cardinals like I did last week. I ain't trying to throw my shoulder out, pat myself on the back, but it is what it is. Hit that thumbs up while you're here on YouTube. Make sure you're watching on YouTube if you can. It'll help us out more. And special shout outs to our sponsors: Fitness Market, Fourpex, Collision Course Crew, Cherry Picking, Shoot 360, Mossy Oak, Planet Fitness, and Rally House. Perrin, we were talking earlier in the week. Now, we wanted you to come on the Shoot 360 show, and life happened, stuff happened, and we weren't able to make that happen. So we were talking yesterday, and you were like, well, why don't we just break down the bracket, do a little selection type deal? And I'm like, that's not a bad idea at all. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Make sure you all, West Keys, hello, let's go. Red State, hey, Jeremy. James Gartland, Cardination, Living Large, and the Revival. Absolutely. I don't know why that ugly blue. Why is that ugly blue showing up? Oh, because I'll tell you what. I have been pull back the curtains a little bit. I'm extremely frustrated with the Restream because not only does it now make me it changes things up exponentially, but it's trying to mess with me. It has been all day.
It has this algorithm for you.
It really does. It's like, let's mess with the fat guy. That's what the algorithm is, and it's doing that right now. How are we feeling about? We'll talk about tomorrow here in a second. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Eric Gold in the building. We appreciate you tuning in.
Eric said he's ready, man. Stop slowing down the game.
He's right. You're absolutely. Look, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. We're gonna pull up the.
I'm playing. Shout out to Eric.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and pull the bracket up, and let's see, how are y'all seeing it? Here we go. Screen share. Pull that up, and so let's
hit the Louisville side last.
Okay, I'm with that.
Make it more fun.
Okay, so let's jump right into it then. Florida, Norfolk State. Now, is that which is the other side of the bracket that's playing tomorrow, or is it different games in different regions playing tomorrow?
all the games are in different regions. So you got the North, you got the South, you got the
Okay.
and the East.
All right. Well, let's just start with Florida and Norfolk State. Florida's super talented. Now, I like to say that they're decent. They're really good offensively. I'm not as impressed with them defensively, but they shouldn't have any issues with Norfolk State.
I don't see it being a problem in this game. When you look at who they are offensively, the dismantling that they did of Alabama, I mean, they beat them by 20 plus, one of the most efficient offensive teams in the country. So I'm trying to find their cover right now. But, I mean, I would imagine they would cover. The problem is, do you want to pick it? I'm willing to bet it's somewhere around 27, 28.
It's got to be. I should have, you know what? I should have had that up here. That's on me.
No, you're good.
That's on me. That's on 3.
So.
Let's see. Let's see if I can pull up the NCAA tournament. All right, here we go. So Thursday, Friday.
So for me, if you feel comfortable with betting that, I think you'll get your money, because if they can beat Tennessee, they can beat Alabama by 20 plus points. I think they can handle Norfolk State.
I'm with you on that. Let's see. What is I've got them right here. I just got to find them on the.
So I definitely like that game. You know, the 6 degrees of Pitino, Walter Clayton Jr. played for Coach Pitino at Iona. So if you're interested in that as well, then find that interesting. I think that's something to be said. But the way they rebound the basketball and their offensive efficiency is crazy. But the one thing they have is size for position. They have a ton of big guys. They do a great job with moving the sports. You all right over there?
So the spread, what were you saying that you thought the spread would be?
I thought it'd be something like 27, 28.
It's 28.5. You were right on there.
Okay, I look smart. There we go.
It takes a lot to help that out, but no, I'm just kidding. So I'll have all the spreads, so you won't have to look those up. So that's about as much of a gimme as you can get in the opening round. Let's go to the next game, and I'll look that spread up while you talk a little bit about one of the more interesting first round matchups, which is UConn versus Oklahoma. Another 8-9 game. UConn is defending back-to-back national champions. They have actually advanced to a title game from the 8th seed before.
Yes.
What actually only 2 teams in history have been ranked in the top 10 and seeded at 8, and it was UConn and it was that team down the road we don't talk about on this podcast, and both made the title games.
Right.
I believe. I don't know if one of them won. I think UConn won it that year, and not sure if I don't believe Kentucky did. But wait a minute, I just said the word. I'm probably banned.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm probably banned.
How do we continue?
I don't know. I don't know, because I'm the only one that knows how to work all the equipment. So we'll just roll with that.
I like UConn in a nail biter.
Okay.
So I would take UConn in the win if you want to take them straight up. I think you take Oklahoma in the points.
Okay.
But I think you get a UConn win out of this game. It's going to be a nail biter to the finish. But I think in the last 4 minutes of execution and having guys on your team that have played on a championship squad before, not all of them, but some of them. And I know Stephen Castle isn't walking through that door, or Stephon Castle, however you say his name. Forgive me if I messed that up. I just think Bobby Hurley is going to find a way to gut this one out and gut his way to a win in a very tight game against Oklahoma.
I'm going to agree with you here. I think Connecticut's one of these teams that, they can get hot in March, and they do remind me of like a UConn or a Cincinnati in the past that's just went on a silly run, or, teams like that. So UConn has runnability, and I know that sounds kind of messy, from the stomach side, but they've got runnability in this tournament, and I think that they'll beat Oklahoma. But if you were to tell me right now, well, Jeremy, you're actually wrong. Oklahoma wins. That wouldn't surprise me, because Oklahoma's pretty tough. They played us really tough in the earlier season, and that was back before we had started to gel. Perrin, let me ask you about that. Remind me later. Remind me when we do actually do the Louisville game. I want to ask you about teams gelling, because I'm not really sure I've ever seen a team gel the way this team is gelled. Let's go to the little mini region. The used to be a Cardinal mini region, and we'll go Maryland and Grand Canyon first. former Cardinal center Dennis Evans on the roster for Grand Canyon. Not played a lot, maybe not at all this year. I don't recall. Do you see them giving Maryland any issues this game?
Yes, they got Grand Canyon has a great coaching staff. Very underrated. You don't hear about it because it's in the middle of Phoenix, obviously. So we're not very familiar with them, but they do have it's not Scott Drew, it's Bryce Drew.
Right.
So he is the head coach there, who was previously he was at Vanderbilt. Didn't have a lot of great success. I forget where he was before that. So I want to say Valpo, but I could be wrong.
I feel like
that is the case. So I see this game being a game where Maryland's starting five who can all score it. But the McQueen kid's a stud. I like him. I think he's a great player. I think the starting five that they have is tremendous, but the McQueen kid is tremendous. They have a great offensive output. Kevin Willard, one of my former assistant coaches, he's a big analytics guy and making sure who fits on the court at the right time in certain situations. And that's why Maryland's been really great at gutting out a lot of games. So for me, I can't go against Maryland. Plus, with them playing in the Big Ten, that's going to be a major part of battle testedness and being battle tested. And I think, did they lose in the Big Ten championship game or they lost in the semifinal, I believe? I think they lost in the semifinal. I could be wrong.
I'll be honest with you. I was so focused on covering the ACC tournament, making sure I didn't screw up, that I didn't pay any attention.
Yeah, I forget if they won. But anyway, like Maryland in this game, I really love what they're doing. And I think they're going to gut this game out. I think Grand Canyon might cover. I think it's 10.5. And I think
10.5, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think they might cover. But it's going to be a very tooth and nail game into the last 7 minutes of that game.
I'm going to go Maryland by 20. I'm doing that. I'm going to do that right now.
Oh, okay. You feeling lucky?
Yeah. I feel like it.
Okay.
Garrett Hoover, our guy Garrett on YouTube, 18 hours away from zero efficiency at work. Let's go. Absolutely. OG Meach on YouTube says, told my supervisor on Monday I wasn't feeling well. Get that. Listen. And we'll tell some of those stories too about times. I mean, my stories are different than Perrin's because Perrin actually played in the tournament. I've always been a fan and watching the tournament. Eric says, "Man, I think Fears is going to run amok against UConn. It very well could happen." Thank you all for interacting. We'll continue to do that throughout the show, and I want y'all to give us your all's predictions. Let's go to Colorado State. Memphis is an interesting matchup because it's that 12-5 matchup. Everybody's automatically like, oh, 12-5. We hate Nolan Smith. That's the upset. And it's like, well, not everybody, but like the people that are still holding on to the last couple of years when it wasn't really his fault. But I actually, PJ Haggerty in the squad there at Memphis, what's the kid's name? I always forget it. Nolan recruited him here.
He's the scorer you're talking
about. Yeah. I can't for the life of me remember. Hunter? Is that it?
I forget the young man's name, but I know you're talking about.
I feel like it's Hunter. I guess if I just.
But I'll say this. This is my upset pick. This is nothing against Nolan.
I know.
You know, I mean, obviously, I have a great relationship with him there.
Yeah.
Known him since he was like 14. So I just think a lot of people haven't seen Colorado State play. Colorado State is tough. They run some great efficient offense. They're well coached, and they compete.
It was Hunter, Tyrese Hunter.
Yes.
So I was going to say Travis. I just got the T's messed up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, you know, for me in this game, when you look at the games like this, tournament games, you only got one life to live, you know, it's like Eminem's playing in the background, you know. Yeah, that whole thing. So I just like who Colorado State is. You know, Memphis hasn't been playing their greatest basketball down the stretch. I know they won their conference tournament, but they eked it out. I just feel like Colorado State has all the pieces that's going to be throwing having Memphis scrambling and running for themselves in one game. And also, here's another thing. Colorado State has had a lot of time to prepare for Memphis. I know people say, well, Memphis has had a lot of time to prepare too, and you're right. But the way that Colorado State's been playing all year, I really like it. What's the spread? 5.5, 6.5?
It is 1.5.
I'm telling you, I like the Rams.
Okay. I'm going Memphis here because I do believe in PJ Haggerty. I believe in Tyrese Hunter. I believe in Penny Hardaway, and I believe in I couldn't.
Penny's not playing tomorrow.
I know, but I can't.
Friday.
I can't pick against. Ultimately, I can't. Just like if you was coaching, let's say you was the coach at Drake. No, that's not a good one because then Kendrick would tear you up. Let's say you were the coach at Troy.
You're so stupid.
I would be cheering. I would say, upset pick. They're gonna beat those morons down the road. But no,
I appreciate your optimism, but Colorado State's getting this done.
Okay, and I'm going Memphis on that one. He's going Colorado State, and we will. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the first round tonight, and then we may do it virtually over the next few nights. But we're going to cover each round as the prior round is completed. So, or do you want to do the first 2 rounds tonight?
Let's do the first round tonight.
Okay, first round.
Let's do this. Let's do the second round games, which are Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Let's tap into that Friday.
Okay. I like that. The next part of that bracket, we got Missouri and Drake. Perrin, because I'll be honest with you, Missouri's been ranked in the top 15 all season. Yeah. I haven't saw it. I'm not impressed. But so for me, this would be my upset special, but only because I don't have any respect for Missouri. Not because I think Drake's great. I've not even watched Drake play a game. There's just something about Missouri that irks me. What are your feelings on this game? While I look up the spread.
Spread is 6.5.
Stop doing my job. Okay, 6.5.
No, I just I've been looking at this game for a while.
Okay.
I don't like this game. I hate this game. If you pick a matchup in the last 5 years that has a positive record above 500 in terms of wins, it's always the 6-11 game.
Yeah.
So if you go off history, you say Drake. However, Missouri at one point had one of the top 10 offenses in the country. And we see them beat Alabama. And what they did is they made Alabama slow. They slowed down Alabama and made them play in the half court. And they ran great stuff. And Dennis, who's the coach there, Dennis Gates, he's one of the best guys ever. And you gotta tip your hat off to Missouri because he had a bad season, great first year, bad season last year, but they stuck by him. And it's produced a great year this year, and they're in the tournament again. As a 6th seed, Drake has been in the tournament. This will be year 4. Coach DeVries, who's now at IU, just left West Virginia, was there. He took him to 3 straight tournaments.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, you can say that guy should have been in his 4th tournament this year, but he didn't make it, and they got kind of screwed over, in my opinion, not being put in the tournament, but they lost their key playmaker in the point guard position. I think he was the coach's son and the other kid that got with the dreads.
Yep.
But for me, it's really hard for me to go against Missouri in this game. However, I'm going to say Drake.
Okay.
I'm going to say Drake. I don't like it. I don't want to pick it, but I kind of want to take Missouri money line and stay away from the point total. But this is the game that everybody's also watching, so I also feel like Missouri's going to bring it more than ever. But your first game in the tournament is always your hardest game.
Yeah. It shouldn't shock me. You're picking Drake first. You don't want me to call you Diddy anymore, and now you're going with Drake. If there was a University of Kendrick on here, I would be going with them. But I digress.
Well, back in the day, they say that Diddy allegedly slapped Drake. So
okay, well,
there you go.
Maybe Missouri will slap Drake tomorrow or whenever they play. I'm not sure. Texas Tech, UNC Wilmington. This one doesn't have much luster to me. I feel like Texas Tech should win this one going away. Obviously, UNC Wilmington doesn't have the coaching staff it had a couple years ago. It doesn't have a whole lot of sparkle to it. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Texas Tech is scary, and nobody talks about them because they're in West Texas. And it was kind of like, I view this kind of like the SMU game. Like when we played SMU in football this year, everybody was like, oh, we're going to beat these guys. And then they came out on the field, and I was like, these guys are massive.
Yeah.
Like at every position, especially the two that matter in the trenches, offensive line and defensive line. And we saw what happened with the football team. And but those guys were really good, and we saw that and so forth. I just think Texas Tech is too overwhelming. UNC Wilmington will be in the game in the first half, but I think Texas Tech takes over.
And they are 14.5-point favorites. Let's get caught up really, really quickly on the chat line. Robert Maxwell saying hi, J-Mo. What's up, J-Mo? Saying go Cards. I'll let y'all say hi to each other in the comments. No mercy on Drake. Okay. Lipscomb is my major upset pick. Okay. Robert Scott Marquette beating Lipscomb. Cashmere says, "What's up, all my Cards family?" Robbie Dull saying hi. Red State saying, "One thing I've noticed about Creighton is their good sportsmanship. I expect a good basketball game instead of that slap happy BS we saw." Very, very true. In the ACC tournament. And let's see what. Okay, so everybody else is just saying hi to each other. Anybody curious what pick Kevin Wright picks for his last? Oh, listen, he's been doing a phenomenal job with that 1,000 days of Louisville, whatever it was. He's been posting a picture every day since the last time we made the tournament till this time, and been doing. I couldn't have done it. I don't have that much patience, but
Yeah, you do. You're still friends with me.
that's true, man. That's a job in itself. Now let's go to the funniest, because normally they try to. I think we can all agree that normally every year we are stuck in a storyline bracket or pod. They always try to do something funny. Like literally, I was talking to Nolan last week, and I was like, bro, without a doubt, they're going to put Arkansas, St. John's, Louisville, Kentucky, and Memphis in the same bracket because they love the storylines with Louisville. Well, they didn't end up doing that, which I'm okay with. But what they did do, which was kind of funny, is they throw Bill Self versus John Calipari in the 7-10. And then directly across from them is St. John's and Omaha. Omaha's an interesting team. I don't think they have a shot at St. John's, but aren't they the team that's been like doing a bunch of social media stuff?
Yeah, they do that whole thing where they dunk the basketball. I mean, something into the trash can.
Yeah, that's
stuff.
what it was.
And everybody loves it and it's great and whatever. So, blase.
All right, let's go back to Kansas, Arkansas real quick. This game to me really is a toss-up.
Really?
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, it shouldn't be. Arkansas's got the way better roster, but Kansas is still. You got to give them some sort of cachet on the fact that they're still Kansas.
Kansas won't be who they typically are until next year when they get Daryl Peterson.
Fair.
And remember that name because that kid's a monster. I think this game is Kansas.
Okay.
And, I love John Calipari's moxie, and he's going to sell the crap out of this game. And Bill Self's going to act like he's very uninterested and talk to you in that whole, like, Bart Simpson, like, Ned Flanders voice. We're just going to come out here and try to play our best basketball and prepare the guys as much as we can and watch film. And the reality of it really is that I just think that with Thiero's hurt, I believe that's the kid's name, the one that transferred from UK. Thiero's hurt. You got Boogie Flan, whose hand had to have surgery, and he was supposed to be done for the year, but now he's magically healthy. This game, to me, all over it, has just a Kansas winning because of their depth. And I think foul trouble is going to come into a factor at this point. And when you got the Dickerson kid and the KJ Adams kid, I think they're going to be too overwhelming for the backboard. Like, I thought DJ Wagner transferred to, like, Arkansas. Like, I mean, but he is there. But I just thought I would know he would be there. And
He is there.
Like, I didn't know I thought he would be a lot more. And but whatever. I mean, sometimes some guys need another year, or you should go somewhere where you fit in and somebody puts you in a position to be you instead of waiting your turn. But don't get me started on that.
Yes.
So,
no, and my thing is that Kansas should be a lot better than they played this year. I don't know what's going on.
They lost that kid that blew out his knee, the McDonald's All-American, the point guard.
Right, but they still got Hunter D.
You're right, but somebody's got to get him the ball, and the ball's got to be brought up court, and somebody has to stop the ball. Somebody has to set up the O. Somebody has to do all the things that you need them to do. They're missing a floor general, and typically when they have one of those, they're very hard out.
I'm going Kansas by yeet. I'm going Kansas by 8. The spread, I think, is Kansas by 5.
I'll take that. That's a good spread for that.
But for me, here, and this is going to be my first lock of the prediction part of the show. If Arkansas wins, that other team down the road is going to lose. That's the basketball gods are just that cruel. But if they win, if they beat Troy, then Kansas, they're both not going to win. That's just not going to happen.
Right.
Let's go to the matchup because I'll tell you what, I'm so happy for the resurgence of Coach Pitinos' career. I'm one of
he looks younger.
He does, and he's having fun. He's going on late night talk shows. He's having fun, and we didn't get to see a whole lot of the fun side of Rick Pitino behind the scenes.
Well, I think it's a lot of things, though. I think he's a different person. I think the case humbled him.
Yeah.
He got a lot softer after the case. I don't have to talk about the case. You guys know what the case is. I think that he's a grandfather now, and with like young grandkids that have questions and stuff. I think that softened him up. And I also think guys like Peyton and Russ, like him going through the fire while he's coaching those guys, like they got to see the full spectrum of who Coach was. And I think he's like a phoenix arisen from the ashes. He's had a great rebirth. He left the country and then came back. He went and
they don't happen for a lot of people. A lot of people get kicked out of or they leave the country and they don't get to come back.
He got yeah. In today's world, right? But I tell you, this resurgence. This guy had the Garden in a whiteout, bro. He had the Garden in a whiteout. He had Madison Square Garden in a whiteout. Like, talk about it. Like he's the king, and he's Christopher Walken in The King of New York. Come to the Plaza Hotel. I'll give you a job. Ask for Frank White. That's who he is right now.
That's a great comparison. And
he's the King of New York.
And
go watch that if you haven't seen it.
If you haven't seen it, great movie. Go check it out. But again, for those of us that have got to see behind the scenes, like when the whole case, that we're not going to get too deep into it, but when it all went down, Perrin, you know how it was at Billy Minardi Hall. You couldn't pass gas without somebody knocking on your door and asking you what you were doing.
Yeah.
I tell this story to my friends off the radio a lot, but there was one night when me and Perrin and Farley.
Your music's too loud. Be quiet.
Yeah. Me, Perrin, Farley, Sos, and Jerry were playing the PlayStation in Perrin and T's room. And we were having a good time. And I forgot if Perrin playfully pushed Sos, or Sos pushed. I forgot. Somebody got pushed into the chair and broke the leg. I kid you not. 30 seconds later. Hello? Oh, sorry. Hello? Yeah, this is Vince Taylor. Oh, hey, Coach, what's good? Tell them that chair's coming out of their per diem. The freak? Like that? So that's why I've always been on the side. People have called me Homer. They've said, oh, you're only taken up because I pretty much was with the team for 4 years. I mean, would you agree with that, Perrin? I had babysitting issues.
You were there every day, didn't you?
Or assignments. I had babysitting assignments at times. Didn't work out too well, but nevertheless, when he said that he didn't know anything about that, I believe. I didn't have to even second guess. I believed him.
I mean, as you get older, you have to delegate work.
Yeah.
You can't do everything.
Sure.
So, and that's like another thing about perfectionism when you're chasing it. Like if you're going to reach the pinnacle, you have to be around people and trust people that you can be around people you can trust. So, but at the end of the day, like I think that he's going to have a great run. I like him in this game. I like them all the way to the Sweet 16 until they play Texas Tech, and I think that's going to be a dogfight.
Let's see. Okay, sorry. Y'all know how I am. If y'all have ever watched the show, which a lot of you do, you know that people only message me during the show and ask me questions and stuff, and I'll try to get them answered.
Yeah, let's get to this other side of the bracket.
Yeah. But St. John's, I've got them. The spread's like, what, 18.5? I believe is what it said.
They'll cover.
Take
that.
They're going to double.
Take that in the points.
It's going to be like Waffle House. It's going to be double covered, scattered, smothered, and chunked. They're going to chunk Omaha all the way down the street. St. John's got all I'll say is this: they got a very favorable road to the Elite Eight there. Let's go to the bottom right-hand corner, and you guys give us your thoughts on that first bracket we covered. Tennessee and Wofford.
Do we have to even talk about it?
Tennessee. UCLA. Let's go ahead and talk about another former Cardinal, and Sky Clark. He has been a contributor there at UCLA. You got UCLA facing Utah State in the opening round. What are your thoughts on Utah? What this matchup between Utah State and UCLA?
I like UCLA to win. I like Utah State in the points. What is the spread on the game?
5.5.
I like Utah State. So, I like UCLA to win, but for me, I'm taking Utah State in the points. And because, if they even lose by, 1 or 2, you're still good.
Sure.
They're going to take UCLA to the wire. Very battle tested. Played against Boise State. They played really tough against a couple of teams in their conference. I really think they're really a tough matchup and a tough out. And they're typically older, but everybody is in college basketball, so they're probably a little more older, which is why they have certain guys from the JUCO system between Utah, because Utah is a great junior college system.
Mm-hmm.
So does California. I like Utah State in the points. Plus, but I also feel like Mick Cronin's got a little chip on his shoulder and something to prove. So I would if I took UCLA, I would take the money line, but I wouldn't take them in the points.
Got you. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Let's see. I don't see the next matchup, but Illinois, the 6th seed, is waiting for an opponent. Who's Illinois? They are the 6th seed. So would they be playing the 11, right? So they're playing the winner of Texas and Xavier.
Xavier, yes.
Okay.
I like Xavier against Texas.
I do
know
too.
Xavier's probably the better team, but Texas's size, pause, is it's a lot to handle. Pause again. And you're terrible. But I think that Texas, with their rebounding prowess, is going to be a problem. And they do switch a lot of things, which presents a lot of problems in pick and roll. So if your guards can't get in the paint, you're in trouble. I like Texas, even though they got the big foreign kid that just does it all for them.
You like Texas or you like Xavier?
I like Texas. I mean, I'm thinking about Illinois. Sorry. Okay. Illinois has a foreign kid that's really nice. But I like Texas against Xavier tonight. And then
I thought you just said you liked Xavier over Texas.
No, I think Xavier's the better team, but I like Texas.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Xavier can handle the big guys for Texas. The kid's last name starts with an S. It's escaping me right now. So.
Xavier by 10. Jeremy Locke, which would put them against Illinois, and then Illinois is going to beat whoever they play.
Yeah.
Trey White, former Card, in that matchup. And let's go ahead. I know y'all are calling me Petty Bridgewater for skipping over the one game, but I truly believe Troy's going to win that by 30.
That's not true. Okay.
Troy by 30, right?
Hey, take UK. Take UK in the money line.
Never heard of them.
Okay.
Purdue and High Point. That's another one we don't really have to discuss.
Not so fast, Mike.
Okay. All right, Mr. Corso, go ahead.
I like High Point in the points in this one. Purdue's is efficient. They got the local kid Trey Wren. He's gonna cause some problems, but they're missing something. They got the Braden Smith kid. He's a good point guard, but they're just missing something. And I really, really like High Point. Their offensive efficiency presents problems. They play fast. Purdue's not the fastest team in the country, but they do switch everything a lot, which allows that. If you ever watch a Matt Painter presser, you know what he's talking about. He's a basketball aficionado. I like High Point though on the points. What's the spread on the points?
The spread is 7.5 Purdue.
That should be a lot higher. There's a reason for that.
Okay. You know what? I'll take that. Your 5-12 upset was Memphis, Colorado State, which I honestly don't. Normally I'd be like, I don't believe it, and I might believe it. I believe the 5-12 upset, and it's not going to look good for the ACC. It's going to be the Fighting Will Wades of McNeese State versus Clemson. So let me preface that. I said that the wrong way. Coming into it, I thought that was going to be the 5-12 upset. With Will Wade being announced as the new head coach at NC State today.
Have they done that yet?
Yeah, it was announced today.
Yeah, I know he said he mentioned he would talk to them, but I haven't seen it being announced yet.
I'm pretty sure I did, but then again, while I was waiting for you to get here, I did fall asleep. So it could be just wishful thinking there. But let's see, 7.5 Clemson. That's a close spread there.
McNeese State all the way.
You've got even with the
doesn't
coaching
matter.
Stuff.
No, why? Because at the end of the day, I still got a career. Coach leaving. I had a career before I got here. So yes, McNeese State.
I did see Clemson up close. Like I'm not even flex. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm not even flexing or anything. But I saw Clemson up close. Okay, I'm done. Clemson up close last week, and I didn't have a lot of respect for them coming into the ACC tournament. I just thought they got lucky because the ACC was having a down year. Those guys play hard. If there's any kind of dissension or discombobulation in the back because their coach is leaving, Clemson will take advantage of that. They'll win. Not only win, I think the spread's a little low. You like the spread? I think it's a little low.
I think Clemson, if you get the light skinned kid, I think his last name Smith. Is that the kid? The kid that was one of the leading scorers off the wing. He has the mini fro. Was it Smith?
Oh, the one that looks like 100 years. Yeah, Braden Smith. Is
yeah,
that his
him.
name?
That's
Yeah.
him. I think if you get him in foul trouble or make him guard, you take away from his offensive prowess.
Yeah.
I think the big kid inside, I think he's not in great shape. I think we wore him down when we played against him because he looked very winded. He didn't do a lot in the second half against us.
Yeah, but he's the kid though that has always looked like he don't belong on the basketball court, and then shows he belongs on the basketball court. Like I literally in the post game show called him about 8 different names. I called him the
Shefflin's his name.
Yeah, bless you. I called him the
Shut
catcher from the Sandlot. I called him the baby head from the Water Boy that says water sucks. I called him a Spanky from. I called him a whole bunch of names. The fact of the matter is, the kid is a baller at this level. I don't know that he'll do anything. Well, I know he probably won't do anything at the next level, but he got a ton of respect from me the other night. I think Clemson wins this now because of the news coming out about them losing their coach, and just because Clemson's ready to go out, just like we're ready to go out and prove a statement. I think Clemson's going to come out and try to make that statement.
I hope you're right. I like McNeese State though.
I'm with you, man. I really like Will Wade as well. Georgia Gonzaga. This is
a nasty 8-9.
It is. It's almost as bad as ours.
Who do you like?
Gonzaga. See how I flipped the coin there?
Yeah, I like Georgia, but Gonzaga. I think Georgia gives them a battle to the end, but I like Gonzaga.
Yeah, Gonzaga's 7.5 point favorites. I want to buy into this fact that everybody's trying to convince me in themselves. Obviously, they convinced the NCAA Tournament Committee that the SEC is the second coming of Jesus on the basketball court. They're not as good as everybody's saying they are. But when you have your power conferences having down years and they don't, it makes them. So give them their props for that. They didn't fall the wayside of that. However, until these teams win a couple games in the NCAA tournament, win a game in the NCAA tournament, I'm not going to be on that hype train. I've seen them do this in football, and it's not. The SEC has a great football legacy and history, but that's because they put each other against each other every week to make sure that at the end of the season you've got one team, because they played top 10 teams the whole year because you ranked them top 10 the whole year.
But Georgia's not a slouch. Georgia could mess around and win this game.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I like Mark Few. And if this game gets physical and the fouls are called a lot, then it's going to be a Georgia win.
Okay.
But if it gets up and down, I like Gonzaga.
Okay. All right. Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville versus the Cougs, the number 1 seed in that region.
So I'll say this.
That's about what I have to say.
I'll say this. Houston will win, but their offense is so tricky at times, they might not cover. But I bet you it's somewhere around like 22.
28.5.
Well, yeah. There you go. I mean, then their defense is that stifling what they think. But I mean,
they could have a blind kid on the team starting at center.
I'm just telling you, sometimes when you watch Houston, they just don't show up, man.
No, I agree.
In the tournament, at least.
I agree with you there. The next game, Alabama and Robert Morris. Now, we all know Robert Morris has spoiled SEC teams' tournament paths in the past. However, this is not going to be one of those times. I think Alabama rolls, no pun intended, or maybe it is intended, and they possibly set up a regular season rematch in the next round. Sorry.
Alabama is going to win this game, and it's just going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be Alabama, and I can already tell you who's going to be next game if you're ready for it.
All right. Well, I want you really quickly to tell me your guess for the spread for this game.
Alabama?
Yeah.
Is it 32?
No, it's only 23. It's one of the lower blowouts that we've
Okay.
had so far. So,
And also, you got to ask yourself, Nato, does he sit out Grant Nelson for this game because he got hurt in the SEC tournament? That's something else to consider as well.
it's smart. I would do it. Next game, we got Vanderbilt and St. Mary. And one of the things I dislike about the tournament is this year is being able, because you all put 14 teams in there from one conference, which shouldn't have happened. There were other deserving teams that should have been in there over a few of these. We won't get into that politics side of it, but you set up conference matchups in the second round. And I don't really care for that at all, but I'm not sure this 10-7 game is one of the closer. Like, people are going to be like, well, Vanderbilt should win. They're the brand name.
St. Mary's by 4.
Okay, St. Mary's by 4. What is the let's go in real quick. St. Mary's by 4.5 is the spread.
I didn't even look. No.
Perrin Nostradamus.
Are you trying to say my nose is big?
No, that's what you said.
I just want to mess with you.
I mean, I could say it. I mean, look, we grew up together in the same hood.
I know you would say it, though, to me off the air.
Said it on there. But okay, I'll roll with you on that only because I don't know too much about St. Mary's, and I've clearly already admitted that I'm going to have an SEC bias because
Randy Bennett's been there forever, and he recruited me when I was in high school. So, and they're very efficient on offense. Gave Gonzaga a lot of fits this year with his St. Mary's team, and now you give him older guys. He's just going to be a great X and O guy. I like everything about him. Giving him older guys. Pause.
Speaking of high school, we've paused a lot. Hopefully, the recorder is still recording. Can you imagine if you were in college now during this era of NIL, and would you have already transferred to 6 different schools by now? Would you be a 10th year senior?
Yeah, they would have gave me like 4 hot dogs and 2 cheddar biscuits for NIL.
Listen, I know people. All jokes aside, people were very excited when the rumors come around that Perrin was going to be going to Bellarmine. Was that your senior year?
Yeah. No,
Your first or your second senior year?
No, I mean, so my whole junior year, I played with bone spurs in my ankle.
Right.
And then I had to have surgery, and I got them removed at the end of the year. But I only needed 14 credits to graduate. Coach Pitino was like, "Look, you should play like 30 minutes a game somewhere so you can make some money overseas. You can play here, but you're not going to get as many minutes." And I knew that. But then I went to Bellarmine. Well, then I got my credits back from Bellarmine, and then I was going to need 36 hours to graduate. So all that summer school that I did was totally out the window. So instead of me needing 7, I need 36 hours. That's 2 18-hour semesters at one of the hardest academic institutions in the South and the country. It was going to be very taxing. So I put all that work. I worked my ass off not to have a hard senior year academically on purpose. And so then Coach Pitino brought me back and gave my scholarship back, and everything kind of worked out.
Yeah, that was all. I mean, as excited as I was to see you be able to kind of like go out on here, because I don't brag on Perrin a whole lot, mostly because he gives me too much crap. But this kid put up 41 in the red-white game before the season.
Was it
1
40?
year.
Was it 40?
It was 41.
I don't remember it being 40.
Yeah, it was. I don't lie much, especially not actually. Perrin scored 3 points that game. No, he had 41 points, and I saw the talent. We had some injuries one of his years. Went to Connecticut, played at Connecticut. That was probably your career best game at Louisville, you think? Was it at UConn? Top 3.
Yeah, we played Notre Dame. I had a good game, but we got killed. They shot like 60%.
I remember at Connecticut, we didn't win that game, but you kept it really close.
No, we won that game.
We did win that game.
We did win that game, yeah.
I remember they were pushing you out of bounds, and somehow your arm was like Stretch Armstrong, and from behind the basket, you still laid it up behind and they called the foul, and you hit the. I was shocked you hit the free throw, but you hit the free throw.
That's because I got a 6'10" wingspan, but that's another story for now.
Absolutely. All right, let's get back into it. Look, we could tell stories all day. Wisconsin and Montana, for me, this is there's no discussion. I can't lend anything to this.
Take the over.
Okay.
Wisconsin wins, but take the over. What's the over?
Let's see. Wisconsin. Where are you at, Whiskey? Where are you at? Son of a. Okay, must be on Thursday. Wisconsin
Also,
and Montana. 16.5. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Also, the High Point Purdue game. take the over. Two high-powered offenses. Go ahead and throw you some more money on your ticket. Take the over in that game as well. I think they're going to get up and down and score. But I like Montana at plus 17. Wisconsin's going to beat them, but Wisconsin's not going to beat them by more than 17, in my opinion. Montana's a tough out. Montana is a tough out.
Well, speaking of
And also, even though we like Gonzaga, I like Georgia in the points.
okay.
I meant to tell you that. I like a Gonzaga win, but I like Georgia in the points.
The next game we have on our matchup card is VCU versus BYU. VCU, very talented team this year. They are good defensively. They like to disrupt the offense, which is why I think this is going to be a close game, closer than people may think. I know the spread is 2.5 for BYU. This is one of those games that really I couldn't fill the bracket out because I'd be like, no, VCU is going to win. No, BYU is going to win. No, VCU. I know BYU has they've been highly thought of all year, but that's the kind of team that gets knocked off in the NCAA tournament by a team that's not as hyped up, that is overlooked, and I feel like VCU could pull this upset off.
This is an upset game. VCU is top 5 in the country in 2-point defensive field goal efficiency. So I'm going to say that again.
Okay.
VCU is top 5 in the country. They're number 4 if you want to be specific.
Okay.
In 2-point field goal defense in the country. Also, BYU turns it over. BYU is outside the top 200 teams in the country in turnover percentage on the season, and they committed 20 turnovers against Iowa State, and they win over Iowa State and blew a 20-point lead and almost lost that game. So when you look at their defense, they're going to force them off the line and make them shoot long twos. I like VCU in this game.
I do too. Arizona Akron. I think Arizona wins that one running away.
I think they cover too. I think they cover easily. They're a very efficient defensive team. If you didn't watch them in the Big 12 championship, they put on a clinic. Greg Lloyd is doing a phenomenal job there. I love what they're doing. Arizona. The kid that we should have had but decided to stay closer to home, Carter Knox, is playing his tail off.
Who? I'm just kidding.
Not Carter. Yeah, Carter Knox. Yes.
No, Carter Bryant.
I'm sorry, Carter Bryant. Sorry.
You're good. I wasn't trying to correct you.
I know, but I needed that because somebody out there listening to this. So, thank you.
Arizona by 15 is the spread, so
take it.
That absolutely should be on the over side right there. Let's see. Okay. Next up, Oregon and Liberty. I've got Oregon in this one.
I like Oregon in this game. Liberty's not a bad offensive team. You will win in the over in this game if you so choose. I like them in the over.
This is another game, though, that's got upset ability, not run ability. That's the one that sounds like diarrhea. This is this could be stomach issues, still upset. The upset ability.
This is a set of Tums.
Yes, absolutely, because they match up really well with Oregon. And Oregon's also one of those teams that have been known to kind of like lay a brick in the NCAA tournament. Spread reflects that at Oregon at 6.5.
What's the over-under?
The over-under is 139.5.
I thought that'd be a little higher.
I did too.
I'd take the over if I wanted to just mess with it a little bit, but I'd stay away from it because that scares me.
Absolutely. Mississippi State and Baylor. It's one of those games that you really...
This is going to be an ugly game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like 6 in one hand and half a dozen in the other.
First to 60 wins, like one of those type of games.
Oh, my gosh. Like one of those old school Louisville, Virginia games, first one to 48 wins.
Yeah, so you're basically going to be – a lot of fouls are going to be called, and the TV timeouts are just going to make this thing longer, and everybody in that region is going to be in the arena 40 more minutes than they should have. But Mississippi State wins in the slugfest.
Baylor 1.5-point favorites in this game. It could go either way. Pause. I had to hit a pause. You've been hitting them all, but the winner gets to be sacrificed to Cooper Flag and Duke, so it doesn't really.
What you got on the text line, right quick?
What do we got? All right. You think we had 93.9?
I don't know.
What you got in the text line? No, we got a lot in the text line, but a lot of it's just everybody saying hi to each other. Let's go back. We have to go way back. Sounds like that Blackstreet song. Let's see what that is. Okay, let's go to the text line, which is lit up. What's up, okay, what's up?
A lot of what ups.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people love us. It's the most wonderful time of the year, especially after the last few years. Go Cards. Good evening. Good evening, Brian. I've got Texas Tech facing St. John's. Okay, now we'll go over that another night, but I do think that St. John's is going to be in the regional final for sure. I'm not even looking ahead. I'm laser focused on the next game, says Red State. Our guy Kevin Watson, one SEC team in the Final Four, one Big East, one ACC, and one West Coast Conference. That's interesting. Robbie says hello. Hello again, Robbie. And then they're giving their Final Four. We're going to get y'all's Final Four on that day when we do that show.
Yeah.
So
we got to get to our region, right?
Absolutely.
Because we know Duke's going to win whoever they play.
Yeah, it's going to smash them. Eric says, man, guys, I ain't going to lie. I think I hate Clemson almost as much as the team down the road. I respect them now. I used to hate them. I respect them. I would think if anybody makes Florida or Tennessee. Yeah, for sure. Phil says, AP number 10th and an 8th seed and flips a bird at the NCAA.
Yeah.
BS for sure. Pope never won an NCAA game. That changes this year. I don't know. Maybe.
Yes.
Perrin said yes.
Yes.
Perrin just listen, as much as me and Perrin are alike, except for I'm just like a little chunkier and a little more light skinned than Perrin. Just a little. The biggest difference is that he's able to be what's the word I'm looking for? Impartial. He's able to be impartial. I just can't do it.
Well, I mean,
I grew up from elementary school with people, little stinks.
And that's fine, but like my biggest thing was, here's the main thing, and a lot of people don't know this, so I'll say it for the 17,000th time. But you've heard this before. When I first started, and you remember this, I just got done playing overseas, and I came back, and I went and reached out to all the people on our side. Our side would be Jeremy.
Well, my name's Jeremy. I'm not Jeremy. I don't have like.
I'm from LA.
Dirty.
I'm not from the South. I don't say Jeremy.
Jeremy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you reached out to the Louisville,
the
Cardinals,
the guys that control all the gates and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I reached out, like they told me no. They said they didn't have anything. So then I ended up talking to a guy that we all know, and talked to him about the game and what I was watching when I was watching basketball at Keatland one day. And once I broke the game down there, I got put on for some stuff, and I made some money, and I won 4 Emmys. I've won 4 Emmys.
Emmys? Like the Emmy, or is it just like...
the Emmy.
Really?
Yes, 4 Emmys.
Well, how did I not know that?
Because I don't go around talking about myself.
I thought you were like short for M&Ms, because like I win those too when I put the money in the snack machine and press the buttons. They come down. I win those. I thought that's what you meant.
That joke sucked.
No, it didn't. It was actually pretty funny. Kevin with a great point. Louisville could lose the first game or make the Final Four. It's weird.
No, he's right. And shout out to Kevin and the reason why is this. To his point, and let's piggyback off of that.
Sure.
The tournament is set up for the number 1 seed to have the easiest path to the Final Four. So if you beat Auburn, sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
You're in control of your own destiny as long as you present yourself every time you have to play. That is 100% factually correct.
Absolutely. Red State says, just caught myself trying to scroll down Jeremy's bracket. That's funny. What's up?
That's really good.
Kevin Watson says he doesn't believe Memphis will have a big run. They're banged up. Penny is not a good coach either. They're not disciplined. Look, I want to make this point. And again, I am not saying this to be partial because my friend is an assistant coach there, my little brother. But Penny didn't learn how to coach he didn't just like suck at coaching last year and then learn how to coach this year. He's leaning on his assistants. He's got Mike Davis. He's got Nolan Smith. So whereas Penny may not be a good coach, Penny is getting better. And their discipline has gotten better from this year to last year. So
yeah, but understand something, Jeremy. Like as you've done podcasting, haven't you got better and better every year at trying to figure out ways to enhance your show?
No, I was good from the start.
Shut up, fool.
From the jump.
But no, seriously, like in all seriousness, like everything comes with reps. Like you don't become great overnight. Like LeBron had to do certain things and get better in certain categories.
For sure.
And with Mike, same with Magic, we can talk about Bird, whoever you want to name. So with Penny went from being a high school coach and an AAU coach to a D1 high major
Yeah.
basketball coach. That doesn't work. And then he hired guys that like to be leaders and not Indians.
Yeah.
Chiefs and not Indians. Larry Brown, never been a follower.
Nope.
You brought in Rasheed Wallace, never had good temperament. Like that, these are your assistant coaches. You brought in Rick Stansbury and sent him home. I like Rick. I don't know what happened there. But another story for another day. We'd have to ask Rick or Penny that. But at the end of the day, like he's learning on the fly, and he's going through what I like to call baptism by fire.
For sure. For sure.
So the fact that he's lasted this long, because think about it like this. You go from being, and I hate to bring up a sour subject, you take a guy like Kenny Payne. Kenny Payne was in college basketball forever. And you saw how long that lasted. For Penny to go from a high school coach and an AAU coach to being a top Division I college coach.
Kenny got baptized about, he should be good in heaven. He got baptized about 87 times over the last 2 years. But no, absolutely.
I got a joke for that. But
I know. No. We can't do that on the radio. Michigan State, Bryant. We'll go from and I will say, let me say this too. Our little bracket, our little 16-team bracket over here is not a tough bracket.
No.
It may be the easy, and I hate saying that. It may be the easiest of the 4 brackets. You can fight me on that, and I'd listen, but it doesn't have a lot of big names in our bracket.
Well, we already just talked about what happens if you beat Auburn, right?
Yeah.
So here's the other thing about that. It's kind of like if you're a running back. If you make it through the line, all you got to do is beat the linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now, we can just get through the line, and that's the first game. I think Creighton's going to be a tougher route than we anticipate, but I like our defense. I think our pace, hopefully the pace that we play with, pace is a defense. So when you play with great pace, you can take people's legs away.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping our pace, with how many possessions we get, will take away the big kid for Creighton and make him not as effective in the end of the game. But however, the problem with that is the TV timeouts are so long in NCAA tournament games, you're able to get your rest.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to be a factor, but that is something that to pay attention to. If we can get up and down and we have a lot of possession, if we play a small game against them, we're in trouble.
And we'll break down that game just a little bit more when we get to them. Michigan State and Bryant, that I don't know what the spread is. I didn't even look it up. Michigan State by 150. Oh my God. Here we go.
I like Bryant in the points. What are the points?
Let's see.
If it's under 20, I like Bryant in the points.
Okay, let's look it up.
Actually, I'll take Bryant if it's like 25. What is it?
18.5.
I'll take that. That's how I will take that.
Look, we're gonna try to make it. We didn't intend on trying to make y'all some money tonight, but Perrin's got the picks for y'all tonight.
I will take that.
That's
Bryant,
actually shockingly low for what I thought it was going to be.
I know Michigan State's hot, but they're not offensively efficient. They don't shoot it well. They have and they don't guard the 3-point line as well as you would like. I like Bryant at 18.5, and I would take that to the bank.
All right, Marquette, New Mexico.
Does Richard Pitino prove to somebody he deserves a bigger job, or does our boy Shaka Smart keep on shocking the world? I think Marquette rolls in this game just based on talent. But Richard is a very good offensive and defensive mind because it's in his genetics. So he doesn't have a choice. Plus, I'm just going to keep it all the way a buck. I know he sent his dad film to get some pointers. And I know he's talked to probably 4 or 5 coaches in that conference, his father being one of them. He's probably talked to our buddy Kim English at Providence. He's probably talked to the guy at DePaul. I'm sure he has those connections, and they've all probably sent him game film. I know Richard's going to make this a close game. But I tell you what, seeing Marquette against St. John's twice, that's a tough out. I got to go with Marquette, but I don't like him in the points. I take a money line on that game. But it's going to be a nail biter. But if you don't like the game, wait till the first TV timeout and see how you feel about it. If you're going to bet live and you like to do that stuff.
Marquette 3.5. Here's what I'm going to do. Hi, Richard. How you doing? Jeremy Wildman. I know you remember me. We had lots of great conversations while you were at U of L. Great time. It was like the real life version of the movie Twins with me and you. I didn't like you, though. You gave me a lot of crap. No, I'm just kidding. I did like you. You gave me a lot of crap, so I'm going to return the crap I'm going to go Marquette by 15.
Really?
And
That's aggressive.
to set up a Michigan State. Well, you know some of the story. I'm going to go tell my dad and stick that finger in your face. I'm going to go tell my dad. Go tell your dad.
I'm not commenting on that.
No, well, I know, but go tell your dad that y'all are going out by 15. No, again, this is another. You hate when the tournament committee does some things. You like when they put interesting matchups together. This is an interesting matchup. Iowa State and Lipscomb. I don't even know what a Lipscomb is.
Shush,
it's in Tennessee, right?
What do you mean? It's in Nashville. How do you not know this?
I just said it was in Tennessee, right?
Come on, Jeremy. You got to do better.
I know. I get, at least I guess the correct state. I didn't know exactly where the university was, but it doesn't matter because it is March, and around this time of the year.
You ready?
Yeah.
Lipscomb.
Oh. Well, let me
In
get
the
my
pu-
shtick
in
out
the-
of the way real
okay.
quick. Okay. So you know what happens in Tennessee around this time of the year?
What is that, Jeremy?
It's inclement weather season. And what better to take out a team from Nashville than a big old cyclone? The Cyclones of Iowa State are going to naturally disaster the Lipscomb, whatever they are. I'm going to look up. Go ahead and do your thing. I'm going to look up the spread real quick.
Take Lipscomb in the points. You're welcome.
Lipscomb. He's picking Lipscomb.
Take Lipscomb in the points. They might not win. Take him in the points. I don't care what he says.
14.5.
Take him in the points.
Okay.
Take him in the points. It'll be a 9 to 10 point game. It'll be close, but take him in the points.
As my good friend Luke Combs says, it's going to hit them like a hurricane. Lipscomb's going to go right down the yellow brick road to their home.
You're promoting tornado damage. You're just.
I know that. I'm aware. I'm aware. Ole Miss and North Carolina. This is a game that shouldn't be happening because North Carolina did not deserve to be in the tournament.
You are looking at this totally wrong.
Listen, it's an interesting matchup because now Carolina's got that chip on their shoulder. They showed it last night. It wasn't a bag of chips. It was just one chip.
Chocolate chip?
I was looking to see because I was making me
chocolate chip. What is
I think it was
white macadamia. What kind of chip was it?
I'm not sure. But what I will say is this: Ole Miss very impressive during the regular season. Does North Carolina's anger push them to beat Ole Miss?
Yes.
I'm going with yes. I think North Carolina beat.
They are mad.
The Fighting Dre Davises of Ole Miss.
They are mad. I know they get to have the Louisville reunion out there, but so what? Somebody told me the other day, and I'm a nice person, at least for the most people.
Yeah, sometimes.
But it depends if you catch me at the wrong time and say something foolish. So, sorry.
Oh, is this the only matchup in the first round that has former Louisville players against each other? I believe.
Yes,
so.
it is. It's got some sex appeal to it for us.
Dre versus Jalen, they played together.
Yeah, Jalen. When Jalen Withers stepped inside the 3-point line, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, I feel so bad for him." I don't. You didn't want to be here. Bye. Peace and hair grease.
So interesting story. So I'm watching the last minute of this game from the tunnel because I'm out there trying to get content with the Louisville basketball team. They're out there bopping.
Yes.
Not diddy bopping, but they're out there bopping. And, it was a 24-point game, so nobody was paying no attention. And then it was like, oh, it's closer. And then almost in unison as Jalen, like, oh, they tied up the game. And it was like, lane violation on Withers. The whole coaching support staff was like, Jalen, no, honey, no.
But the guy that shot the free throw, his jump shot looked like Charles Barkley's golf swing.
Oh my God, it was awful.
He had
Four guys walked, 2 guys on each side walked. I don't know how they walked off the court, but as they were coming through the tunnel, Jalen was balling. He had 2 guys on each side of him carrying him. Trying to be good teammates.
But here's the thing.
I would have tripped them, but they were just carrying him out the tunnel.
But here's the thing. You've been playing with this dude all year, right?
Yeah.
You know his free throw's wonky. Why would you try to be the first one in there?
I mean, he single-handedly changed the whole complexion. If they would have won, if they'd have pulled that off, Louisville's ACC champions.
Pretty much.
They would have handled the thing that the edge that Duke had over us was they had 2 like thoroughbreds, like grown mythical creatures on the court that it didn't matter what they did. They weren't calling any fouls on them.
Right.
And North Carolina don't have that size. Their size is Jalen Withers, which I love him to death. Still keep in touch with him.
Yeah.
But dribbles off his foot a lot, stays out on the 3-point line when he shouldn't be. It is what it is.
He needs to work on his game if he wants to be a pro.
Absolutely, and he can be. He's got all the tools.
Yeah,
he's just got to put them in the right slots.
But a lot of guys do.
Yeah, that's true. So North Carolina, I'm picking to win that game.
I like them in
Withers
the plus.
redemption.
I like them in the plus.
Jalen Withers leading scorer.
Okay.
Yeah, all free throws that are not lane violated because he's on the free throw line.
Okay, we'll see.
And not stepping into
We
the
shall
lane.
see. We shall see.
Texas A&M and Yale. I don't know too much about Yale.
Tell me
about
in
Yale.
the points.
Oh Lord,
Yale's hard to guard. They run a lot. That sounds weird. They run a lot of great offense. They're
so Yale's hard to guard. Okay.
Yes, to guard. You heard that. Don't say nothing else, dirtbag. You heard me. Yes, Yale is a tough out.
Very excited.
And shut up. And so
Texas A&M by 7.5. By the way,
I like Yale in the points.
Something to it. Listen,
take him in an alternative spread and take him at 10.5.
Sometimes I have a little doubt about what Perrin's saying, and then I look at the spread, and it's like it validates Perrin. I'm like, okay, all right. I don't know anything about Yale, so to me, that's one of those should be a 20-point games. And then Perrin's like, well, I have this thought on it. I'm like, okay, whatever.
They won't quit.
Oh, the spread.
They won't quit. They won't lay down. Texas A&M is very physical. Should they win this game? Yes. If they impose their will, yes. But they have to guard Yale, and that matters. So that is it for me with that one.
Do you know what matchup I want to see in the Sweet 16? I want Michigan again. And I think Michigan's going to be there. Now, will they play Louisville? Will they play Creighton? Will they play Auburn? Who knows? But it would be a chance for a national championship rematch.
Yeah.
The storylines, obviously.
So you're not giving UC San Diego any love.
I don't even know who they are.
You don't know who they are?
University of Cincinnati no, I'm just kidding. I know who they are. I'm joking. No, I've got Michigan. I've got Michigan by 15.
What's the spread on this game?
Let's look.
I'm gonna tell you.
You tell us a little while I'm looking that up. Tell us a little bit about.
You need to take San Diego in the points in this one.
UCSDBD.
UCS. University of California, San Diego. There's University of San Diego, University of California, San Diego, and then there's San Diego State.
Gosh dang it. Every time. Michigan 2.5. I'm sitting here talking about they're going to get blown out of the water, and it's admittedly.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Perrin. Admittedly, I haven't watched much Michigan basketball this year, but you always cheer for the powerhouse.
You need to take San Diego in this game, and San Diego. If San Diego's in this game in the last 2 minutes, the last 10 minutes, San Diego will win this game. San Diego is going to win this game. 2
games left, and I'm still picking Michigan on that one, which obviously that could be an upset special. We're gonna first tackle the game with the biggest spread in the first round so far: Auburn versus the Hornets, the Jackets, the Fighting Bees, whatever they are, of Alabama State.
State on state crime.
Yes, this is going to be some crime going on here. I don't think we need.
What is it at? 28.5?
No, 32.5.
No cover. It's scary to touch that game, but if you like to roll the dice and live on the edge, go ahead, take you 4 shots of crown and take that bet.
Auburn by 50.
Yeah, like literally. I hate to say it that way. They'll try really hard and make it fun to the first TV timeout, but when emotion dies down, talent takes over.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a very gruesome game for them. Love them, though.
All right, let's catch up with the text line as Perrin keeps throwing to, like this is his show or something. Uncle Larry says, hey, Mr. Johnson, good to hear you.
Appreciate it.
Red State Sam Squanch is what they call him on Trailer Park Boys 55. I have no idea what y'all are talking about now. Our legs will be back for Creighton. I hope we posterize Creighton. So we'll talk about a little bit of the little stuff y'all been saying. Our legs will be back for Creighton. I hope we try to posterize their big man with dunks and make him draw early fouls. If we can get their big man in foul trouble early, it's Louisville in a runaway. Does Perrin think the Lakers make the NBA Finals? SoCal Perrin, AOL Instant Messenger looking at.
I haven't had that name in a while, but good memory, by the way.
Yeah.
Best team in the league right now. I mean, I know the Lakers have been on a run. LeBron's out right now. You got Luka. They're poised to make a run. However, I don't know if anybody can beat OKC in the West in 7 games. I think that's the hardest thing right there when you talk about that. Like, how do you get past OKC and what they're doing? They're like 17, 15 games ahead, like something wild.
It's crazy.
And
Phil,
they got the MVP.
Yeah, Phil says I miss my boy Perrin on in the mornings with Drew. I think everybody does. Michael Singleton says we should have gotten the 5 seed, not Memphis. Now let me pull the curtain back a little bit on this. Again,
Michael's forgetting what happened at the beginning of the year.
Well, maybe so, but here's the thing. Again, me and a certain former Louisville, I'll redact his name at this point. Former Louisville basketball assistant was talking last week about the seeds, and we had both agreed that Louisville was going to be a 5 and Memphis was going to be an 8. He was very shocked they got a 5. I was very shocked that we got an 8. But Memphis is a good basketball team. I didn't think they would get the respect they deserved. I'm okay with them being a 5, but I'm not okay with us being an 8. I think we should have been much higher.
Well, everybody thought Pitinos was going to get fired. No, don't forget that.
That's true.
He changed his whole staff out in August, in the 11th hour. You got all your kids on campus and signed, and then you got rid of the people that got them there. And then you brought in a new coaching staff to like 2 weeks before school started.
Yeah.
And then, because I remember like Nolan was like out of here like on a whim on accident. So for me, I just think that Penny did a lot of great things early. He didn't have a lot of success toward the end of the year, and they weren't blowing people out. And that partly is because of the fact that their offense probably didn't change a lot, but they were just better than most of their conference. So
I don't know what that was. Absolutely. Kevin Watson says Perrin with the hot takes, great points. Don't tell him that. That'll just make his head bigger. Allie Jack says Memphis has less talent but better team. I like Memphis, and not just because Nolan's coaching down there. I think they've got an interesting dynamic down there. They've got a team that can make some noise in the tournament. I think a lot of people's Memphis hate is because.
Why do you think they're the best team in that conference? I'll tell you why, but
why do I think that? Because they have the most talent.
Yes, and you know why they have the
better
most
coaching.
talent? And you know why they have the most talent, the better coaching? Because of all the teams in the AAC, they have the biggest budget.
Yeah.
And that's just what it really boils down to. If Will Wade goes to North Carolina State, it's because whatever dollar amount that he says he needs, they're able to give it.
Yeah.
If they don't, then it makes no sense. Because if you go to these schools and they don't have the budgets for you to go get the kids you need, then they're not going to go there. Like Kentucky's going to need $15 million.
Red State says I was referring to Duke's big Sasquatch and Bigfoot. I swear, listen, I'm a big dude, right? And it takes a lot to make me feel like I'm in somebody's shadow. I always tell everybody, Mekhi Becton, largest human being I've ever been around in my life.
He's a man. He's a man.
These two are Mekhi Becton-esque, and it was 2 of them.
Right.
And I'm sitting there looking at him, flex, not flex, sitting there front row at the ACC tournament championship final. I was on TV the entire night, both nights. Okay, that was a flex. And these human beings were so big. I thought they were literally monsters from the Space Jam movie. Big, so big. But let's get to the game that everybody's been waiting for, and then we'll close this out for tonight. We appreciate y'all hanging in here with us. We normally try to stay under an hour, but we had to talk about all the teams. Louisville Creighton. Right now, the spread is, we're the first game of the tournament, Louisville by 2.5. I expect that to change by tip off a little bit. This is where I'm unable to be unbiased because I grew up a Louisville fan. I've watched this team suffer the last 2 years. I've seen them. As I asked you to remind me later on, I've never seen a Louisville team gel like this team and gotten better throughout the season. Now, a lot of the teams that we had back in the 2000s, 2010s, they actually, I'll say this, and you can take it out of context, but we had really tough Marches and then tough Februaries, and then started to come around in March. This team has gotten better every week.
Yeah.
And it's the most, I say this a lot on the show, it's the most teamy team. I know that's not a word, but I'm using it. The most teamy team. Like they're always looking to pass the ball one more. They're always looking at the right places to pass the ball. They get people in the right places to make the right shots or take the right shots. They may not always make them. Super unselfish. Everything on paper says that we should annihilate Creighton. However, it's March Madness. And if you've been a Louisville fan for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, however old Perrin is by this point,
thanks.
You're welcome
for aging me.
Then what? I mean, I'm older than you are, so what do you think that does to me? It's the Louisville letdown. We have it in every sport. It happens every once in a while. You absolutely don't want it to happen this game, but it does have you. It wouldn't matter who we played in the first round. I don't remember what year it was, but we played Louisiana Lafayette in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
My sophomore year.
Your sophomore year. And we went down, in Nashville, right? Bridgestone?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, thank goodness we get to come and watch a good blowout. And it was like, what, y'all won by 4 or 6? It was something really
It was the hardest game we played the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I know people say the West Virginia game was, but there's a type of pressure and tension that a first game requires. Like, I really, and this is just me being honest, and I want people to hear me on the long side of this. I really am jealous of UK fans that they get to have SEC tournament in Nashville. And the reason why is, like, I wish like the ACC tournament was like in Cincinnati, or it was in like Indy, or even St. Louis for the hell of it. And the reason why, and I know so many people are like, what the hell are you talking about? Because when you can drive down the street to go to your conference tournament,
mm-hmm.
like, that's the greatest thing ever. Like, when we used to go to Memphis, it was off the chain.
It was
the greatest thing ever. And that's the only thing that I say that I wish we could have a dope ass conference tournament like right around the corner. That's 2 hours away, so the whole damn city could drive down. Like, that's the only thing that I hate about them, that they get to do that we don't. Like, we're like conference tournament. And don't get me wrong, conference tournament in New York with the Big East. That's the only other place that the conference tournament should be.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, like, and I know Charlotte is Charlotte, and I know that's where the ACC headquarters is, but I wish we can just drive to I wish it was like, oh, we lived in like West Palm Beach and we get to drive to Miami for conference tournament.
Sure.
Like, that would have been dope. But they have a true advantage. But in this game, when you talk about us and who we are, and you talk about those games, there was nothing like pulling up, like when the bus pulled up to Bridgestone and you seeing people tailgating in the parking lot in the back of their truck or their Jeep, or they got both sides of the sliding doors of the van open, and they got the door up in the back.
The Lamborghini doors pop up,
and it looks like a tailgate minus a football stadium.
Right.
And, like, it was one of the greatest experiences that we ever had. Like, seeing homies you knew or family members or friends as you're pulling up to the arena, walking in this red and black draped out all over Nashville. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had, and I've loved that to this day. And I hope we show out tomorrow and we paint the town red down there tomorrow.
And I believe that we will. And then another, conversely, it was T's senior year. Now, you're a year behind, right?
T's senior, my senior year, T's junior year, we played in Lexington.
No, I'm fast forwarding to a different game. We had Oklahoma and Blake Griffin in the opening round in Birmingham.
Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah,
and that's a game we were all nervous about, and then absolutely we beat them by 30, just destroyed them. So you can never. That's why you get the little nervous heebie-jeebies if you're a Louisville fan, because was it our title? We played Manhattan, Siena, and Siena are really, really close.
Yeah, but like that's different. Siena was really good that year. The Manhattan game, Masiello knows Rick Pitinos since he was a ball boy.
Coach Mass, shout out to him.
Yeah, but this game, I know everybody's kind of worried about it, but there are some likable things about this game. One, Creighton likes to, when they guard the pick and roll, they don't hedge it. They do what they let the guy go over top, or they let the point guard goes over top of the screen, and they drop their center who's 7 feet tall in drop coverage, because they want to prevent you from touching the paint, right? You can't do that with us, because why? Chucky shoots it too well, Rain shoots the ball too well, and the young man is escaping me right now.
Javon.
Not
Rain.
Him. No, I just said Rain. What's his name? Let me pull it.
Rain, Javon, Terrence Williams Jr.
Not Chucky. Terrence Edwards Jr. Sorry.
Yeah, Terrence Williams. Terrence Edwards.
Yeah, Terrence.
Let's never say Terrence Williams again.
I'm getting old. I can't remember like I used to. But so Terrence Edwards Jr. Right?
Never liked that
Like
guy.
he's done. You're so silly. Terrence Edwards Jr. is going to be very capable, and he's been doing a great job with handling the ball and running a lot of the show since Rain's been out. My only concerning factor is I don't like that Rain's been out so long because of the fact that you want a guy in rhythm, playing a couple games, getting rhythm.
Yeah.
So how long does it take him to find his stroke in this game? That is a concerning factor for me. But in terms of like the matchup, I know everybody's concerned with the one kid. His name is Stephen Ashworth. He averages about 16, 17 a game for them. He was put on the show against St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
And he got them off to a fast start. They were up like 11 or 10 points in that game. I don't worry about him because Chucky's going to be on him. And we know that. Right or wrong?
Right. Hold on real quick. I like doing this to Teresa. Hello? Doing a show.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're on live. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm on my way home from work.
Okay. See you when you get here. Don't interrupt me again. Love you. Later. Oh, okay. Bye.
So
That's how you do that. Just hang up on
I'm
them.
glad that worked out for you. So I couldn't do that. But Creighton has good defense, and they're doing a great job. But the thing about it is they're very reliant on Stephen Ashworth.
Right.
And Chucky's probably the best defender in the country. So because of Chucky's defensive prowess, and make sure he doesn't get 2 quick ones early, I think I like the way we match up with them. Plus, he's a good player, but he has a tendency to turn the ball over a great deal. You can look at his assist to turnover ratio in the last 10 games. So check that out if you want to see what that looks like as well. And I just really think our pressure is going to be a very big problem for him, kind of like it was a little bit in the St. John's game. Additionally, we're a top 25 team in the country with guarding the post. A lot of people don't know that. We are top 25 in post defense in the country. So I know that everybody's talking about the 7-footer kid. I like us not in the points, and I think the points are 6.5, 7?
Yeah.
I like us straight up in the win. And it's going to
Okay.
be somewhere around 5, 4. Hell, it might be 10. But we don't know because it's really going to be dependent on how much we can take the Ashworth kid out the game. So if you bet Louisville, I would take Louisville straight up and not in the points. So with us being a top 25 team in the post, I think that we'll take care of him a little bit. And I like us to advance to the round of 32 to play against Auburn.
I do too. Our fans are a little bit more confident than we are. Robert Maxwell says Louisville by 19. Phil says Louisville by 17. Red State wants to know, hey, Jeremy, how do all these teams get floor time to practice in between games with games being played that day? Well, they normally do, they practice in other places. They don't normally practice at the
Right.
at the site of the game.
You practice at universities in the area.
Yeah.
You practice in athletic clubs. They got a college-sized court, sometimes on campus at schools in the city. So they are in what is it? We are in Lexington.
Yes.
So they're probably using Transy, or they're probably using UK's.
Probably out on somebody's farm.
Yeah, they're probably using UK's facility or Transy's facility because you don't want to be in a high school court because it's too small.
Right. Well, I mean, and the Yum Center does have the luxury of having a practice like most of the NBA facilities do.
Yeah.
Um,
Or you're sliding up to Georgetown, or you're sliding down to Midway.
Yeah. Yeah. But so they don't really practice at the venues, but they do get like an hour of shoot around before the game.
Yeah, to adjust to the rims and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They'll probably be doing that tonight, actually.
Yeah, they are. Actually, Louisville had to shoot around at Corrupt earlier today, and Rain Smith was just hitting everything he was shooting up. So that was good to see. And no signs of any injuries or anything, according to Blankenbaker. So
Yeah, I saw that. Shout out to him. Glad he's okay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That was scary. Conference tournament should bounce city to city to share the economic benefits and home team advantage, like it did in the Metro. That's how it did in the Metro and Conference USA. Andrew said, I watched the game with T Saturday. With Farley, and it's the only game I watched with him this year, and we lost, so I blame him. We always blame Farley. That's been like a motto since birth. Sponsors of the show, Mossy Oak Properties. What up, crew? What's up, Paul? We appreciate you sponsoring the show. Got your little picture down there in the bottom right-hand corner, and the ability you sponsor the chat line. So thank you for letting all these people talk tonight.
Yes.
They appreciate it too. Drive safely, be safe. Yeah, so I'm going down in the morning, getting up about 7 a.m. Me and Teresa, we're going to pick up Rummage and his kid, and we're heading to Lexington for the game. We're gonna go to the hotel send off, the little pep rally and everything, and then got pretty decent seats. We both wanted to go as fans this game. Now we'll probably go as media for the next one, but this one we wanted to actually, because it's different when you cover the games and you're sitting there and all the attention. Like, I was afraid to even sneeze because I knew like the whole world was watching me. During the, I mean, they probably weren't looking at me, but I mean, I was there to be. You ain't gonna miss me. Like, I'm there.
Right.
I was. You didn't have to agree that quick. I was in my all whites. I had my white hat, my white CSZ hat. I had my white Stormtrooper U of L pullover on. So the second game, I made sure you were gonna be able to see me, and it's different. So when you do media for long enough, you miss going and just getting to be a fan. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. Okay. All right. Well, let's
But before I get on here,
yeah.
I got
Before you get off of here.
Get off of here. Yes.
You've already been on here for an hour.
I got it. Yes, I gotta get to Adidas. Adidas is coming up quick, so I got all this AAU stuff going on right now.
You gonna push some kids this way?
I'm gonna try to
Okay.
if they fit it.
So why don't you do me a favor? We talked yesterday. I retweeted a plug that you had as far as some funds and stuff, raising funds, fundraisers.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that before you head out, and then you don't have to be here for me to close the show.
I want to be here with you, but I gotta get to.
No, I mean, I get it. You're trying to leave, but that's fine.
I gotta get to these kids.
Yeah, I know. You're trying to leave.
You kill me. So what we are doing is with our AAU team sponsored by Adidas. We are the only AAU team sponsored by Adidas in the whole state of Kentucky. They didn't offer anybody else the contract but us. So basically, Adidas did a great job, and they offered us this contract. We are taking our kids across the country. However, we are doing fundraising for the kids and trying to make sure they have all the things that they need. And one of the things that we are doing, raising money for our kids, is we have a bourbon raffle. And I'm Jeremy, and I was going to talk to you about this. And with our bourbon raffle, we have several things that we are giving away. We are giving away a whole set of Weller. Its value is $2,100. So the tickets go. One ticket's $30. You get one chance to win in the draw. If you want 3 chances to draw, it's $50. And if you want 5 chances to draw, it's $100. So that's with the Weller. Second place gets the whole Blanton's set, all the bottles.
Okay.
So that is valued over $2,000 as well. And that is something that is truly amazing and truly fascinating for somebody to have. And I think that is a really great set for you to have. Also, that is second place. Third place is valued at $900. And it is the 12-year Pappy Van Winkle.
Okay.
Fourth place. Yeah, keep on going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fourth place is valued at $650, and that is the Pappy Van Winkle 10.
I thought I told y'all that he don't stop.
Yes. And fifth place is the Master Cask Wild Turkey. It is in a sherry cask. That bottle is valued at $600. So if you buy 5 tickets, you have 5 chances to win a $2,100 Weller set. You have 5 chances if you do $100 to win every bottle of Blanton's. And for all you people out there that collect bourbon, Blanton's set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles. The Weller set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bottles. So, and then sixth place, we have.
Wait a minute.
Yes, you heard correctly.
I thought I told y'all that he won't stop.
Yes. So the sixth place is a bottle of Wild Turkey, also Master Cask. It is valued at $600. And if you give 5 chances, you can win $100. At $100, so if you spend $100, you get 5 chances to win. Sorry, I said that backwards. If you spend $50 for 2 chances, and you get 1 chance for $30, that's what you get.
Okay.
And to check these things out, you can go to our website you can go to our Instagram account. I'm getting old, Jeremy. Instagram account, and that is 502 Elite. Or you can go to the Venmo page, and it'll take you directly there. And that is at start-finish-1, and for your chance to do this.
Sorry, I'm trying to go to the website right now.
So I'm going to send this to you to have, and you will have it at your disposal.
Actually, I was just looking at that real quick.
That's my baby photo. Yes, that's what you got when I call.
Listen, that's exactly. I've got Perrin's baby photo as it's because I don't even remember who sent that to me.
Yeah,
and I was like, man, Perrin was an adorable child. What happened to him?
everybody gets when everybody's old. Everybody gets when they get older, they get ugly. So that's just what it is, Jeremy. It's a progression of life.
Whatever. Cashmere says, bro, Perrin, your IQ on basketball and breakdowns are amazing. I met you a few times working the Yum and seeing you out. You got something special going on here. Just continue doing you. That's all the people said about you. They don't care about you anymore.
That's okay.
No.
Shout out to Cashmere, though.
Absolutely. He's a good dude. I see him all the time at the games and wrestling events and stuff, too. He said, love to you and 55. I appreciate that. Good to see you all again. Let's go ahead and close the show out. As always.
And we'll be back on Friday.
Oh, yeah, we will be. Guess who's back? That's not Diddy, so we can do that.
And then we can do that while the games are also on Friday.
I thought I told you that. We won't. Never mind. Make sure y'all are out there supporting our photographers. Jeff Nunn, TJ Barr, Justin Kruger, Keith Russell, bar none, the best foursome, pause, in the business, taking photos for sponsorship opportunity. Well, I can't say that. And then I've got a comment there in the bottom left-hand corner. For sponsorship opportunities, look at the bottom left-hand corner and to be alerted on how to shoot us a message. Tune into our show Friday night at 11:05 for our regular time slot. I'm not sure what time we'll do the show this Friday night, if we're going to try to do some more bracket breakdown, but we'll figure it out. We'll let y'all know on social media. Stay tuned to our social media and subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, kind of like tonight. This was a pop-up show, even though we prefer you all watching us on YouTube. You can find the audio version of the podcast on over 125 different podcast avenues: Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, and iHeart, to name a few. Hit subscribe, like, heart, plus sign, or whatever. Did you know, you remember our guy Sean that does the podcast, right?
Yeah.
He's 42 and still a virgin.
Well, good for him.
Not by choice.
No, I mean, what do they say?
If
somebody that's never drank, tell them not to. Yeah, same thing.
No. We try to tell him the opposite. We're just afraid he's going to owe faithful some poor girl one day.
Hey, listen. Hey, just do you. You know, if it ain't for you, it ain't.
I think that's what he's been doing.
You are terrible.
If you haven't listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, it's easy to find. Go to cardinalsportszone.com, podcast tab, podcast drop-down menu, select CSZ Podcast for our new stuff, the last 6 seasons, and for the stuff before we went on 93.9 for our little 5-year run. The beginning stages, hit the archives button on that podcast page. It's real easy. Even who's somebody? Oh, it's so easy that even Sean can figure it out, and he has trouble figuring out his zipper. Check out our exclusive stories on cardinalsportszone.com, the place it all begins. Shout out to everybody out there sharing the podcast. We appreciate you. Shout out to our guys, Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage, doing the Lord's work Monday through Friday from 10 to noon. Well, sometimes Marcus does it from 10 to about 10:09 to 11:15. But anyway, doing the Lord's work on ESPN 93.9 The Ville. Shout out to our guy, Dalton Pence. He's got a new show, Mondays with Dalton Pence from 6 to 7 on the Big X. And shout out to our guys, Dan and Mark at the 502 Circle, Floyd Street Media, doing their thing, trying to get us taken care of. Perrin, where can people find you on social media? And you've already said it once, but go ahead and remind them where they can find 502 Elite.
You can at Perrin Johnson on Twitter. I've been talking about it also at the 502 Elite page, but you can click on that as well. You can go to Instagram. You can click on the 502 Elite page. You go to Facebook and click on the 502 Elite page as well.
And we want to thank a couple of guests that come by the show the other night before we had the technical difficulties there, but we've got those figured out. At Shoot 360, Luke Whitehead, Terrence Jennings, Tony Williams, we're all there, and we're ready to get on the mic, and then didn't get to get on the mic, so we're going to have them on really, really soon. Speaking of Terrence Jennings, check out his new show, Spill in the Ville. It is a part of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast network. Him and Blake McCauley break down the week's comings and goings and give the perspective from a former Cardinal. Those are the ones, like, I love Larry's show, Player's Perspective. I know Luke's been talking about doing a podcast. Luke Whitehead, I called him Luke Hancock the other day accidentally, and he got, I was embarrassed of myself. I didn't mean to. But love hearing stuff from the players' point of view. Perrin, we loved listening to you when you were on the air. Hopefully you get back to that. Got a little taste of it today. Hopefully we get back to that soon. Tell your friends to tell their friends about CSZ so we could be friends. No Diddy. I said no Diddy. P. Diddy. Listen, we hope you all enjoy the week. L's up. Let's get this win tomorrow. For Perrin Johnson, I'm at Jeremy_CSZ. Jeremy Wyman, we appreciate you guys. Thanks again for the support. We love you all. Until next time, this has been the Cardinal Sports Zone.